We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc in theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 52 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. I'm going to say it again, just to make sure it sinks into everybody's head. 52 weekly podcast episodes.
52.
Yeah, 52. That makes it a whole year of doing the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. We
are accepting
cake.
gifts.
Yeah, well, we got cake, but it doesn't ship well, so yeah. I'm the only one who gets to eat it.
Man, this is...
Yeah, it was a very selfish choice to go with ice cream cake for this,
yeah.
Craig, but
I
okay.
really should have thought twice before all of my cake needs were met by Dairy Queen. But that's not my problem, because I've got cake. On this week's episode of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast, we're going to show just how Canadian we really are. And we're going to talk about Thanksgiving at the beginning of October, because it is. And then we're going to talk what we watch this week. And it's going to be fantastic, and y'all are going to love it, and y'all are going to tell all your friends to listen to this, because starting next week, we're into our brand new season of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast.
Season 2.
Big changes,
all the good stuff.
Big changes coming in season 2. We're going to hit our stride. We're like The Office, the US version. We're so much better if you just
Get
wait
through that
until
first
season
season.
2. Yeah, you just got to get through season 1, and season 2 is just so much better.
And we promise somewhere down the line we're going to cut our episodes in half, because that's what they did.
And that seems like a very likely possibility some of these days. We're running out of topics to go in depth into.
It's going to be 3 episodes of what we watched this week, and then 1 episode that we actually talk about something we care about, and then 3 episodes of what we watched this. Yeah, well, Ted Danson.
Because we've yet to do a just Ted Danson episode. We just talk about him every
Big
episode.
Things are coming in season 2, folks.
Yeah, we still haven't even done an Arnold one yet.
No, we have not.
Stay tuned.
We've got a Coen Brothers one on the schedule.
Oh, big things coming up in season 2. But today we're going to talk about Thanksgiving.
Canadian
Scott,
Thanksgiving.
what are you thankful for? Doesn't matter. We're
What
going to
am I
talk
thankful
about
for?
American Thanksgiving shows. Like, if find me a Canadian TV show that did a Thanksgiving episode, I dare you.
Well, I don't watch this one, but I'm sure you've got it. Letterkenny?
Letterkenny never did a Thanksgiving episode.
Really?
Technically. No,
okay. Well, I was just throwing a
they've
dart
done a
out there.
Halloween special and a St. Patrick's Day special.
They go St. Patty's, but they miss Thanksgiving. Okay, well that's...
Yeah, I mean, it is a show about drinking lots of alcohol in Northern Ontario, so...
Fair enough.
I bet you Train 48 did a Thanksgiving episode.
Oh, probably. They probably ate turkey on the train.
They probably did. No idea where the turkey came from. And there was probably a big issue about it, too. They probably compared it to some politician from 2003 or something like that. I don't know. That show's weird.
I'm fairly certain there was probably a Corner Gas Thanksgiving episode.
That makes sense. It's just not as big of a deal here. It's just a long weekend.
Yeah, it's just an extra
It's not
weekend.
a Thursday. They don't even play football in Canada on Thanksgiving.
They don't really do much.
The day before.
Yep. Maybe on the Friday.
Maybe on the Friday.
Maybe
on the Thursday. Definitely on the Saturday. But
never the Sunday.
But we actually came here to talk about American Thanksgiving television shows, movies, and etc.
That's most of what we watch anyways.
Yep.
So should we go with the obvious one?
What's the obvious one?
Oh, Slapsgiving?
Obviously Slapsgiving.
Okay. That was one of the 2 ones I have written down.
It's one of the only ones we have in common.
I would imagine so.
I stand by
it.
One of the ones that all 3 of us would have anyways.
Exactly. That's all I have written down for that.
Just Slapsgiving?
That's my note too. Mine says HIMYM Slapsgiving.
Even better.
That's all I had.
You've got a note for context.
Mine just says Slapsgiving.
It's been a while since I've actually watched any of the Slapsgiving episodes. However, I can see them in my mind. I believe there was a countdown website.
There is.
In one of them. See?
I believe that's
I believe it's an actual website.
I'm gonna fact check that.
Yeah, you probably should. But yeah, no, I haven't watched these in a little while, but they stick out as one of the like more memorable like TV show Thanksgiving specials because it gave it a name, kind of like how Seinfeld did Festivus. They gave Thanksgiving its own kind of pun name, Slapsgiving. So I think that, and then the premise, just this flat bet, kind of like daunting through it. It's just. Yeah, it's an enjoyable episode. I definitely need to go rewatch it this Thanksgiving weekend. When this episode will be coming out.
It's called the slapbetcountdown.com alarm.html.
Wait, .html?
.html. And all it does is come up with one more.
One more. I hope I'm not getting slapped one more time.
I don't remember making any slap bets any recently.
Yeah, not since 12B.
Yeah. And even then, I don't think I accepted any of those.
No, we got one.
Oh,
it was a hair growing contest, and you slapped me.
Yep, because I definitely won that, yeah.
Yep. Because I was like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah. And that's just my life, growing hair.
Slapsgiving aired in 2007.
Well, that makes me feel old, thank you.
Yeah, really.
A decade, 11 years ago?
Yeah.
You just got slapped.
It aired in November that we were in grade 9.
Oh my goodness.
God. That was probably before I was even watching it like on a regular basis too. Probably wasn't until the second season if I'm remembering correctly, but it's hard to say back then. That was during that period of, was I watching Netflix or cable? I don't remember.
Probably still cable, man.
Probably a little
2007? Yeah. I don't know when Netflix started their streaming service, but 2007 doesn't sound right.
Yeah, grade 9 would have been a little early for that. Yeah, that's not the point. Anything else about Thanksgiving, Slapsgiving?
Well, they had a couple of episodes
yes, they did.
like based
but
around.
That was the first one.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
How many in total did they have?
Or they tie him to the chair.
Yep.
Is that the one where they play the game?
So the plot on Wikipedia here says the episode begins with future Ted telling his kids about a private joke he and Robin used to share where they would go out or
major whatever.
They would salute whenever another person used a word that sounded like a military rank.
Corporal punishment.
Yeah. It's going to be the gang's first Thanksgiving with Marshall and Lily as a married couple. Marshall is terrorizing Barney in the days leading up to Barney's third slap. So the episode Slapsgiving is the third one apparently.
Okay.
The episode actually called Slapsgiving.
Okay. Is that the one where Lily's dad shows up when they play like the game? Mm-hmm. Or is that a different Thanksgiving episode?
I think that's the next one after that.
The next one? Yeah, because the gallbladder explodes and the lead paint gets on everything.
Yeah.
This is the episode where Marshall sings "You Just Got Slapped."
Yeah. And then he tells Ted and Robin they can have the slap, don't they? And then they just like spend the whole episode arguing over who deserves it. Does that sound familiar?
This is the episode where this is the episode where Lily says that there is no slap, and then Barney taunts Marshall, and at the last minute, Lily says that.
Oh, she changes her mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he slaps him, and he goes flying across the room.
Yep.
Yep. That was it.
So is it the second or third Slapsgiving then that?
Yeah, because the only one I can think of.
Third slap. The other slaps didn't take place at Thanksgiving.
No. Well, he has them twice at one point, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember.
I guess it's first 1 and 2 that he hits them back to back.
I think so, yeah.
And then 4 would be the Thanksgiving one. Or like the other one where they play the game with the dad, I guess, right?
That sounds right.
I really need to rewatch this show. It's been so long.
All of the episodes are kind of melting into my mind right now.
Yeah, no, that's my problem too. Like you're asking me these things, and I'm like, I couldn't tell you. It's all a big blur of their couple apartments and the bar.
Yeah, there's a few episodes. The one we were talking about, that was Slapsgiving, which is the third slap.
Third slap. Okay.
Third slap.
Anyways,
First-
what's
the
next
first
up on the
slap
list?
bet episode is the one with Robin Sparkles.
That's what it is, yeah.
Very
Because
first
they're
Robin
betting
Sparkles.
over why she doesn't want to go to the mall.
Yes.
And Barney and Ted both like. Do they both slap each other? Or they both wind up to slap each other.
I think it was just a bet on the outcome.
Because I know. Marshall slaps him first, doesn't he?
Barney
'Cause,
slaps
like-
first because he thinks that it was porn.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah.
But
And she
anyway,
says, yeah.
I think that's why Marshall ends up
Oh,
winning
you know
more.
what I'm thinking? I'm thinking later down the road where another Robin Sparkles comes out and like Barney winds up to hit him. He's like, wait. And it's the super dirty space math up
I just watched
TV show
that
she was on
one not
with
that long ago.
where Alan Thicke was just a perv.
Yes. Anyway,
Anyways,
other
what,
Thanksgiving things. I guess
what's next up on the list?
I guess I can do my stuff if you want, if it makes it easier, get the ball rolling here. So on my list, I have the Friends Thanksgiving episodes only because they come to mind and not because I remember.
Those are the other
anything
ones on
about
my
them.
list.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, Scott. I should have let you go.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm
Let's talk
pretty
about it,
much
Scott.
in the
Let's do
same
it.
boat as you. I remember like two of them. One of
Yeah,
them, Chandler puts or not Chandler. Monica puts a turkey on her head. I don't remember the context of that. And that one's the football
Doesn't
one.
matter. Yes, and the football one's the only one I can remember.
And I think one of them
What's
one's
what's the
Brad Pitt, too.
football one?
They go play touch football down on the street during Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and it
weird.
gets super competitive between Monica and Ross because
They
they're
used to play as
siblings.
kids. Yeah, they used
Yeah.
to have like the Geller Cup when they were kids.
Okay.
And their dad had like one time like they got too violent. Their dad took the trophy that they would use, which was like one of those what's it called? Trolls? Not trolls. Those things with the weird hair.
Yeah, it's a
Little
troll
things.
doll.
Is it troll doll? Okay, yeah. So troll
Yeah.
doll just on top of some like freaking 2x4s, right? And he had thrown that in the lake. Apparently Monica went in and got it, and then that they're playing for that nasty old trophy in this episode. Yeah. It also sticks out because Joey's attempting to like Joey and Chandler are both trying to like hit on a like foreign lady. She's like European of some kind. She just has a really thick accent, can't understand half of what they say. But they're both trying to, win her over the whole episode too while they're playing touch football and stuff. So yeah, it's just a fun Thanksgiving episode. That's the only thing, the stuff I remember about it, to be honest. I don't know why I remember it so well too.
That's more than what I remember. All I remember is Monica and Ross not wanting to let go of the football.
Yeah, at the
Everybody
end
else
of
has
it.
already gone up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, no. And I think the only other one, I think there was one with Brad Pitt, but I don't remember if that was Thanksgiving or just a meal.
Or just an episode you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, there was some kind of event they were having. That's why Brad Pitt was like invited as like a date of some kind, and I think it was Thanksgiving. This would have been like season 7 or 8, so like later in the show. But yeah, I just remember. I'm pretty sure it's a Thanksgiving episode that he had guest starred in.
Let me look it up real quick.
I couldn't honestly tell you, man.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I'm trying to remember what the reason would have been, because I know the reason Brad Pitt was invited because he knew.
Yep.
I think.
Thanksgiving.
Yes, knew it. Yeah, that's all I got for that episode, though. I like that because Brad Pitt showed up. I thought it was funny because at the time he was still married to Jennifer Aniston, and yeah, so that was a little bit funny because they're, I think Rachel's character was the one who invited Brad Pitt's character over, or it was Monica. I don't remember exactly now. But yeah, Friends
matter.
Thanksgiving,
That's
Friends
what's
Thanksgiving.
That's what's on your list.
That's
your whole list.
pretty much. But there was one little fact I wrote down about Friends, which I think it's one of the few shows that did a Thanksgiving episode every season. Because that's one thing I did look up the Thanksgiving episodes, just the names before, and they did do one every season, which makes sense because they had 22 episode seasons for 10 years. So it's like, yeah, why not do a Thanksgiving one every year? But I thought it was funny because no other shows do it quite as consistently that I could find when I was looking through Wikipedia.
Not live action, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I
Like-
looked through the animated ones.
Like Family Guy has one every year.
Do they?
I'm going to use that to segue into my list.
Yeah, 'cause my list
Family
is
Guy
over
has
as
one
well.
every year. Which ones do you have, Craig? Because I have two
the only-
specifically.
The only one I wrote down, and remember when we were talking about this episode before we started the episode, when I said I just kind of did episodes that reminded me of Thanksgiving, I have the Leafers on my list. Of
yes, that's a
Thanksgiving
good one.
episodes.
Because the boat will come back for it.
Because everything about that episode is pretty funny. Where is it? I think it's
Man,
Peter
I
pretends
just
to be the tree that eats
yeah,
people,
yep.
and then the priest from Boston in the church.
Hey, God is good, huh? If you don't think so, he's gonna come down and beat your frickin' skull. Amen.
Yeah, but what other one did? I guess do you have two other ones then?
I have
a couple?
two. I have two.
All right.
My first one on the list is the one where they like Brian and Peter have to go try to get a turkey for Thanksgiving. And it's just the weird cutaways with it, and mainly Chris just getting super drunk and thinking he has to be the man of the house,
Right,
because Stewie tells him to. And he just gets really uncomfortable with his grandmother. But most importantly, he's like, "We Irish, we have a dark sadness." And then the other one I have on here is the where Joe's kid, I can't remember his name. Kevin, I believe. Kevin Swanson, that sounds right.
Yeah,
where
Kevin
he comes back from Iraq, and he's supposed to be dead, and he comes back, and just the whole episode is them calling bullshit on his story. But it's not even the story; it's just the added little like one-liners that Peter and everybody throw in throughout the day. He's like, I do my duty," and then Peter's like, "Duty means poo," and then Quagmire's like, "Duty does mean poo." Just stupid little jokes like that mean nothing. And I think that's the first episode I can remember off the top of my head where like Netflix had it bleeped, and then all of a sudden swearing happened.
Yeah, it always hits you like
Yeah.
right in the face too.
So unexpected. Like, these mashed potatoes are so fucking good. Like, oh shit, Bonnie, what are you talking about?
That's funny because Bonnie doesn't sound like she swears.
No, but when she does, oh boy,
Or when you swear about Bonnie.
she's a fucking smoke show.
What else is on your list? So I don't
Next
go
up-
taking your entire list.
Next up on my list, I have all the Brooklyn Nine-Nine episodes.
Yes.
It's gonna be juicy. Nope. It's gonna be moist. Just say it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good, man. Or any of the ones involving Amy's family, which happened a couple of times actually. Most recently, where the Peraltas and the Santiagos get together and try to amalgamate the family.
Did they end up getting really drunk?
Yeah, they get super drunk, and then his dad cuts his thumb off. Because they're carving the turkeys. I just cut my thumb off. Then they have to rush to the ER. Just, I feel like that show is just underrated.
Yeah.
But what else is there? There's those that episode. There's the one where they meet Amy's dad, which I believe I think that's the one where Holt and Detective Adrian Pimento do the gambling with the show dogs for like the Westminster Kennel Club show,
Yeah. That sounds right.
where they just go real intense. I forget what the breed of dog is, but
Which is funny
The-
for Pimento.
yeah. But he puts all the money on. I was like, oh, she's precocious. You know what that means? She's a bitch. Because Holt is just worldly and sophisticated and weird, but amazing. Next up on my list, I have, because I have nothing else to add about those. I can't
Yeah,
remember
I had
the other
nothing to add
Thanksgiving
about that
episodes.
whatsoever.
Other than Boyle starting with gobble gobble.
Yep.
Oh, the
Wait, that
Boyle
I
bingo.
remember.
That was the first one.
Boyle bingo, yeah.
Yeah, Boyle bingo.
Yep.
Gobble. Oh, you just gotta say two. Gobble gobble. All right, so next up I have just the Prison Break episode of Community, where they do Thanksgiving at Shirley's house.
Okay.
And then Abed, Troy, and Annie. I think Pierce was there too. They're talking about like how to break out of Shirley's house because they don't fit in with the Christian,
Yeah, no, I'm remembering this episode
intensity of Shirley's family. And then Jeff meets his dad for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's the only Thanksgiving episode I can remember from
I think that's the only one they do too.
from Community.
I don't remember that episode at all.
I remember it being a decent episode, nothing special. That the guy from Workaholics, was it Adam Levine?
Devine?
Devine, yeah.
Or
Divine.
Adam Levine is
Adam Devine.
Adam Levine is a singer for a band.
That's what
I
it was.
just can't
Is it
remember which one it is? It's not important.
No. Not in this podcast.
Nope. But is it even Adam?
No, it is.
No,
Is
it's
it? Okay.
Adam Devine or
Yeah.
Divine, depending
Yeah.
on
That's
how
what it
you
was.
pronounce it. Yeah. No, you're
Regardless, anyways, he's in it. He plays Jeff's brother. And he's just super
Yeah.
emotional and plays himself, basically.
Yeah.
But that's all I really remember from that episode.
Yeah, I can't remember who his dad was.
It was some hunky old dude.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
Nope.
So many of those.
But what else do I have? I have Bob's Burgers because all of their Thanksgiving episodes are just stellar.
I
James
saw that-
Brolin is Jeff's dad.
That's who it was.
Okay. I think I'm remembering who that is.
Just a second. I can probably get you a list of things he was in. But continue on.
Anyways, I have all the Thanksgiving episodes from that show with the guy and
Bob's
the thing.
Burgers.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Bob's Burgers.
Where he drinks the absinthe and cooks the turkey.
Oh, that's
and
a good
they
one.
pretend to be
Yeah,
Mr. Fischoder's
Mr.
family.
Fischoder's family. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, my favorite one is the episode where they decide to run the marathon down at Wonder Wharf,
Yep.
and then Bob stays home and gets drunk by himself and just has this real intimate argument with the turkey baster. He's like, "That's so you, turkey baster, just fighting and not going in the drawer. You think I wanted it to be this way?"
Those Thanksgiving episodes are always ridiculously over the top emotional for Bob.
Yep,
Because
loves
he wants it
Thanksgiving.
to be perfect,
and it never is.
and it never is, and he always ends up super drunk and talking to inanimate objects like they're people.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Like
then he
when
also
he's-
sings Donna Summers, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Because he can't sing at all.
I like when he's picking out the turkey in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And he's talking to each one of them, and they're
Yeah.
like trying to get his
Oh.
attention.
And he's like, "It's you! I found it!" And the whole family just goes with it. They're like, "Yep."
And then
There's the one episode where he keeps ruining the turkeys in the brine.
yeah.
And the father of the brine because he keeps putting it in the toilet. There's the one where he's got to drag Gail up the road in a kiddie pool.
Right, because
And it turns-
she hurt
she
her,
fakes it, yeah.
She hurt her foot.
Yeah, she fakes her sprained ankle,
Yeah.
and then she can run.
Yep. When he's exhausted. Yeah.
Yep. What else is there?
Those are the only one that I could remember was the one with Mr. Fischoder,
Yeah.
where they pretend to be his
Yeah,
family.
where they bring in the woman,
Yeah.
and then he's trying to win her.
Yeah. And he drinks all the absinthe and hallucinates while he's cooking the turkey. Yeah, I can't remember any other ones. They did quite a few though because it's Bob's favorite holiday. Better than
Oh,
all the other holidays.
Yeah, and he always goes nuts over it. Always.
Yeah, and it never goes right, but that's okay.
That's okay. That's like Christmas. It's like a wedding day. It's meant to be fucked up.
Take
And-
notes, people.
Take notes. Life's shit, and then you listen to Forgot to Grow Up podcast.
Yeah, and then that just makes it so much better.
Well,
Sometimes.
much better. Not so much better. Just much.
Scott, always.
Always. All of the things.
Always better.
So the only other thing I can think of is, and it's just because I watched it recently, is there's the New Girl episode where they're trying to cook a turkey for Thanksgiving, but it didn't thaw out in time.
Yeah.
So they do everything to thaw it out, and it doesn't work. And then they try to stick it in the oven to cook it, but it's too big, so it just melts onto the top and the bottom, and it's just a total nightmare. That is all the Thanksgiving
It seems like the
episodes
most
I remember.
cliche, like Thanksgiving episode
Where
ever.
where everything goes wrong and they can't cook the turkey. Yeah, sounds about right.
Like the frozen turkey thing, like that. I can't remember a specific like show, but I'm sure that's been like every sitcom has done that at one point.
Pretty much every Thanksgiving story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Always a frozen fucking turkey.
Always.
Stupid turkeys.
Why did they even freeze them?
Oh, they do one where they go to Black Friday over at Best Buy because they're going to go buy a washing machine and dryer. And they make sure to say that that's what they're going to buy at Black Friday, but that's all I can remember.
Well, the only two things that we have not mentioned yet that are on my list, and one of them is quite the stretch for a Thanksgiving movie, but it comes to mind. So I guess I'll go with It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Technically a Halloween film, however, it's more fall than it is Halloween to me.
Okay.
So I'm going to include it because I get to I
pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving counts.
because I said so. It's included because I said so. That's pretty much it.
Well, I'm gonna accept it. However, I'm not gonna allow you to talk about it when we do our Halloween episode.
Oh, it's happening anyway. Right.
Double dipping
Fine,
on
be that way.
Charlie Brown.
Anytime I can talk about a film that has music by Vince Guaraldi in it, I will.
I will let you mention it,
That's
but
fine.
I will not let you talk about it.
That's fine. The only other one is obviously a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving.
Obviously.
Because for the ridiculousness, well, first of all, 1973, so good for these guys. Second of all, the ridiculousness that is Charlie Brown is having a Thanksgiving dinner. He's a child, and he's having a Thanksgiving dinner with his friends.
Because why the fuck not?
But he doesn't know that he's having a Thanksgiving dinner with his friends. Much like poor Bojack doesn't know he's having a Halloween party. Charlie Brown doesn't know that he's having Thanksgiving with his friends, so they have to scramble together to put together a Thanksgiving dinner. They're children. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
That's fair. I just thought of another episode of Family Guy. It's the one where they introduce Peter's sister briefly.
The one that looks exactly like him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one who's got the what was it, heavy flow?
The wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. Terrible name.
On purpose.
I know. And then he plays Maxie Patty.
It's perfect.
It's short for Maxwell Patricia.
Anyway.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that at all?
Not even a little bit. Like I'm
That's
just
when
like,
Meg decides that she's going to get
not
into
remember
Meg
this
kills her.
sister?
Meg kills her aunt.
Yeah.
Hits her with a folding chair
Yeah, 'cause
in the
Meg
wrestling
decides
ring.
She's going to get involved in women's wrestling, professional wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
see
I
Meg
missed
in my
this
head
one.
right now.
What season was this? Or era?
I want to say that. I want to say that was like season 13,
Okay, so post 12.
but I'm not. Yeah.
12, I think, is like the last one where I've like watched every single episode, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe it was 10 though.
Let me do some double checking on this for you. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Okay, we do need to stretch this Thanksgiving part out just a little longer too.
Okay. Well, I want to hear about what's your guys' favorite Thanksgiving memory then. Just to get off topic.
Oh, okay. Well, Craig, you got to go first.
Favorite Thanksgiving memory. I don't know. I've never really had much of an emphasis on either the Canadian or the American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's just a
because
long
I
weekend
usually-
with a meal.
I usually just end up eating pizza
Oh, mine's not that bad.
for both of them. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Thanksgiving memory. This
Yeah.
sounds really bad. This sounds like I have a terrible family life. But
Well, no, it's
but
just they all mesh together sometimes. You're just having a meal. Like, it
my
doesn't...
family's been going camping on Thanksgiving week. So my favorite Thanksgiving memory is going to be the weekend we went camping at Shirkston, which makes my family sound more well off than we actually are.
Excellent. Stand by it. Lean into it, my friend.
We went camping at Shirkston for the weekend in my parents' pop-up trailer, and the furnace kicked out, and that's the coldest I've ever woken up. That's my favorite Thanksgiving memory.
That's your favorite.
Rough.
See, like, I was thinking, we went for camping for Thanksgiving about like 4 years of my childhood. None of those are good memories. It was too cold because we didn't stick around southern because my mom's crazy. Sorry, Mom. But she had to bring us up north. Do you know where Bon Echo is?
Yep.
No, but I'm looking it up.
It's about an hour from
it's not too far from me.
Yeah, about an hour north.
So that's not as far north as I was expecting.
But it's not exactly warm in October.
No.
Yeah, and so I
can attest to this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so like that was the exact same thing for me though. Craig was like, those were the coldest I've ever been trying to sleep in my life. The only time in my life I've ever worn socks while sleeping.
Yep.
Because how cold it was, I needed like 3 pairs on, and we weren't in a trailer. We were in fucking tents.
I think what makes camping in the trailer worse was the fact that we went to bed with a functioning heater.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to be warm.
Yeah, no, you're prepared. You're
and
cool.
then you're not prepared to wake up to 0 degrees.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand. I really do.
That makes things a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. It's fine then, Scott. What's your favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Well, I don't have a favorite. That's what I was just telling you. Most of mine were like, those were like half the times we went camping, I fell. We'd go like canoeing. Half the times I fell in the fucking water, almost got hypothermia. So you're not supposed to go in the water in October.
No.
Nope.
And so yeah, no, Thanksgiving. But if we're gonna go more positive, I guess. I don't know. I always just remember there always being a lot of pie at the end of Thanksgiving. Like, my family was always like, oh, we're every single person is bringing a different pie so that we could all have 13 different fucking types of pie for dessert. And that's what I always remember, is that there's just always like pumpkin, freaking
Scott loves pie.
I love some pie.
Terry loves yogurt. Scott loves pie.
Yeah, so that would be mine. That and like eating, typical
That's fair.
stuff. Yeah,
That's fair.
No special stories. What was your?
It was season 14, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that explains why I definitely
season
14.
Yeah.
But then, so Andrew, it's your turn to give us some random Thanksgiving memory. Then, since we're going that way, we're doing.
I don't have any super positive or super negative.
Well, I said random, so.
I don't know. I remember going hunting when I was young with my grandfather and my uncle on Thanksgiving, coming up from Milton, making that treacherous drive from Milton up to Campbellford.
I don't know why, but
go
to me that
go
just
to the
sounds
cottage.
very Thanksgiving-y. You know what I mean? Like that just Thanksgiving hunting.
I think
trip.
it's because it's cottage country.
Probably.
Being like coming into a cottage country, like it's supposed to be like your last hurrah, your last weekend at the cottage, and then you close it down type thing.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I'd come up here, we'd go do some duck hunting, or if the weather was or the water was too choppy or the ducks weren't around, we'd go do some grouse hunting, and then we'd go eat turkey and just have ducks or geese or grouse just sitting there, chilling. And that was it. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was my most positive.
That's something. There we go.
Thanksgiving, and it's about murder. So.
Yeah. Well. That happens sometimes. Thanksgiving's a lot about murder, really, if you think
yeah,
about
pretty
it.
much. Pretty much, yeah.
But shall we
Thank
get back
you for not getting busted.
Yeah. Anyways, should we get back to actual movie and TV stuff?
I guess so.
Are we done with Thanksgiving?
I think we're done with Thanksgiving. I'm giving thanks that we are done this part of the segment.
Yep. So, what did we watch this week, guys?
I have a fairly long list.
You started off then,
buddy.
Okay, well, I have actually been leaning heavily into New Girl as of late.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You're watching New Girl?
Remember when
Yeah.
I told you that it wasn't that bad, and you told me that you would never watch it, and then
Yeah.
here we are? Yeah.
Yeah,
Here we are.
a certain special lady friend of mine.
That,
Man,
yeah,
so
makes
she can give better recommendations than me,
Yeah.
really? Really?
sense.
Craig.
I think they just hold more weight in certain aspects. As in, when you sit on the couch
Kendall
next
and
to
I
somebody.
watch things. Yeah, Kendall and I watch things together.
How can you trust somebody that doesn't like The Good Place?
That's true. You know what? You're absolutely
yeah.
right. You're absolutely right. She did not like The Good Place. That sits in a bad place with me, but I can tolerate it. But no, the new girl. I hate Zooey Deschanel. Her voice is so annoying.
I am the opposite on her voice.
Her voice, like,
I'm
she
probably
just,
in between.
It's,
It sometimes
it's
annoys
so
me.
nasally and whiny.
Yeah.
I like it when
no
she
issues
sings
with it.
stuff. I appreciate that because I have a tendency to sing what I'm doing sometimes. And the intro song is just the best thing I can think
It's
of.
what gets you hooked.
Yeah, it's so
That's for
good.
sure. It's
Hey,
really short.
girl, what you doing? So good. But it just, I like how like quick they are to make the jokes and how the camaraderie between the three guys, the three roommates, that's basically what each episode's about. Jess just goes through the motions and it's just the guys just being childish. And it's a lot like How I Met Your Mother in that respect, but just more organic, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Like, I feel like there's just the guys on that show are meant to be juvenile, and they're like, oh, fuck yeah, we're juvenile. Let's do this.
Fair enough. I'm trying to think of like a show that would be similar to that, but
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
which would make sense why it's such a big thing with those people who are fans of it. I don't know. It just
Like-
missed me over. Like I've always
Like, it's like Seinfeld meets How I Met Your Mother. From, like, goofiness, but mixed in with, like, real-world stuff.
yeah. Okay.
And I also like that there's a couple cutaways here and there. I love shows with cutaways.
Cutaways are awesome.
Cutaways are my favorite. Like, when they do it in Family Guy, love it. When they do it in Big Mouth, love it.
I was gonna say Family Guy is literally just cut like so much cutaways.
Yeah, the episodes are about the cutaways,
Yeah.
and then they just build an episode around each cutaway. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they made like just stupid references. They're like, let's see if we can fit this in.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that some of them have been that. Like some of the more ridiculous ones. Like Family Guy. What are we doing? I actually saw that episode.
I love
guys.
that. You
I
saw
did see
that
one,
episode?
yeah.
Lincoln, what are we doing?
It was on in my brother had it on. I'm like, oh, I remember that line. They said it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one because it's
Yeah.
just so weird with Matthew McConaughey
Yeah.
driving the car.
And the Kanye candy canes.
The Kanye candy canes.
Candy canes. That one just baffled me. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It's not supposed
And
to
then
be.
they answer
Yeah,
it
that's-
with
Yeah.
No, that's why I got
Family
it.
Guy.
No,
What are
What
we
are you
doing?
I'm like,
Not
oh,
only
that's
is
what
it
that
not
was.
supposed to make sense,
Yeah.
but they tell you that it doesn't make any sense.
That's I felt like not to get off of New Girl or anything, but that season of Family Guy, like it felt like they were just trying to rebrand themselves or give up. Like it seemed like a lot more big mouthy, like in the cutaways and the callbacks, because every episode had noticeable callbacks. It's almost like Andrew, what's his face? Was it Andrew Goldberg?
Yep.
Yeah, he got more say in each
Yep.
episode, or they just tried to emulate it, because each episode had the callbacks and they referenced the callbacks.
Yep.
And like the only real callback I remember from any episode previous was the episode where Peter asks Joe for a cereal or like a dead person's Walkman in season 14, I believe. And then the next episode when Peter's doing something, the guys all want something from him. I think it's to go to the Red Sox like baseball camp. They will all want to go with him, and Joe's like, "Hey, remember last week when you asked me for that jogger's Walkman? Well, here you go. It's still got blood on it." And that is the only callback I can remember previously.
And the
But
chicken.
just and the chicken,
Yeah.
but it's not like that. I just take it as like a segment.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they make a lot of
recurring
recurring
characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Whereas like
Just like the
direct
greased up deaf
callbacks.
guy.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I'll see you later. I thought it was really good. Really good. Anyway, so I watched New Girl. I've crushed 3 or 2.5 seasons of it.
Jeez.
I'm halfway through season 3. I started like Friday.
Oh wow.
I watched all of season 2 on Monday
Fair
and
enough.
then went to bed and woke up Tuesday and I was like, fuck. What did I do?
What did I do?
New girl.
There's only like 5 seasons. Shit.
They're almost done.
Yeah, I'm halfway done them
Yeah.
in half a week. God damn. So I also started watching Grimm.
Okay, I've always kind of wanted to check that show out and just never have committed to doing it.
I've watched like 6 episodes of season 1.
Yeah.
Aiden put it on at the shop today, actually,
Okay.
because he's like, "Oh, I'll bring in something we can watch at work." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. Just make sure it's like 2.5 to 3 hours long, so I only have to hit play a couple times."
Yeah.
So he throws it in, and I'll be honest, it's good, but it's not great. It's like it doesn't do it for me. It's not a show I would tune into every week.
All right. Yeah.
Like it's a show I would binge watch once and then just never watch it again.
That's fair. That's
Granted, I'm only like 6 episodes into season 1, but I'm not like in love with it.
Yeah, you're not like.
Yeah.
But
let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. I was more into Grey's Anatomy
Oh, okay.
than I am Grimm.
That's interesting. Did you ever watch Once Upon a Time?
A little bit here and there, but not enough to get fully into it.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, does it have that same kind of feel to it? Because that's like just looking at
Okay.
Grimm, I'm like, this seems like a Once Upon a Time kind of thing. And I liked Once Upon a Time, but I was the same thing. I was like, I
See-
don't need to get to it every week. I'll wait till the season comes out, kind of thing.
The thing about it I like is it's got some like almost CSI, like the cop
Yeah.
aspect of it is very CSI. But just the low budget special
Okay.
effects that go into it,
Yeah.
that's what really takes me out of it.
I could see that.
Like
yeah.
it seems like the character development's really good.
Okay.
However, like it's very well done. However, the low budget aspect of it kind of kills me for it.
No, I can
Like
understand
the
that.
fact that Toast of London seems to have better graphics is obtuse.
Yeah. No, I could. Yeah, that could definitely take you out of a show sometimes. Very
No,
easily.
no one dismantles an apartment quite like Toast of London.
No one does.
That show is just ahead of its time in terms of physical effects.
Because it's the greatest show ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Still haven't watched
next up is I watch a little bit of Big Mouth.
Yep.
Is the new season
Ju-
up already, or
No.
It comes out. It comes out this coming weekend.
That's what I
So
wasn't
it'll be
sure.
out. when
It'll
this-
be out
yeah,
when this episode's
episode
released.
Is released. Most people will have already finished it. Myself, unfortunately, not included because I'm going camping at Shirkston for the weekend.
Hopefully the
Well,
heater
Thanksgiving.
works. Hopefully the heater works.
Yeah.
I will be in the nation's capital this weekend, so I won't be watching it. But let me
Toronto?
tell you, I will 100% have it done by next recording. I will have it done. Come hell or fucking high water. It will be
might.
done.
You never know with Ottawa.
Craig's going to get hit with so many references Monday night.
That's fine because I'm gonna be watching it too.
Yep.
We're gonna
Okay,
watch
let's
it
make
together.
let's make a pact. We're going to watch. Okay, I was going to say that.
just
We're going
have
to
a
watch it
Skype
together.
date. Problem solved.
That's it. Like, oh my goodness. Stupid punchline
Scott,
here.
you're laughing, but it's gonna.
No, I know. I'm laughing because I'm like, this is exactly why you guys have so many. What did you watches and so? Because you guys just
It's
play
because
this-
we talk about
this,
everything.
The Psych movie.
Well, we planned that one in advance.
Yeah, that one was actually a date night. Thank
Yeah.
So I say you're making another date.
you. Long distance date night.
Yep.
So I watched that to get ready for
The next
the
season,
upcoming season 2. And let me tell you, it still holds a flame to last year's release of season 1. It's still hilarious
Okay.
the 17th time around.
Well, that's
I watched Inside Man, which was a movie I haven't watched in probably 5+ years.
is that Denzel.
That's Denzel and Clive Owen.
Okay, yeah, no, I know that one now. That's the. Is it a bank
The
robbery?
bank robbery.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I
And
like that
that-
one. That was
that's-
good.
I highly recommend it. I believe it's on Prime.
Okay.
I believe that's how we watched it.
I can do that. Willem Dafoe's in that too.
It is. He plays a super dickhead sergeant. I believe he was a sergeant.
And
I can't tell you. I can never remember the ranks.
He's a
of people.
captain.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer's in it. Yeah, captain. That's what he was. But Jodie Foster's in it as well.
She's not.
Very well
no,
done.
she is.
Very intense, and you cheer for the bad guy in it.
Yeah, which is always a fun
Like
little
it's
thing, yeah.
they do a weird way of like you want the bad guy, Man, being a working stiff makes you tired. Anyway,
jobs.
so
2 jobs.
That's it. Hand jobs and blow jobs.
Exactly. Big Mouth references, sort of, not really.
Sort of. Seems like something.
It would be.
Quit quoting your dad's law commercials.
Law commercials.
Love is dead. Let's bury it together. My twice institutionalized wife. Anyways, so what the fuck was I saying?
I don't know.
Okay,
I
the bad
totally
guy. Okay,
got lost.
They do a good job of making Clive Owen like you want him to get away with it,
Yeah.
and making Denzel, who's really the good guy, he's the cop, the detective, and you want him to stumble and not solve the issue. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember really
And
liking
the premise of it,
yeah, the
like
premise
it's not
I
like
really
your
like, yeah.
typical bank robbery, like it's something else. So it's pretty good. I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched it in a while, but I remember really enjoying that because of that. Like, I like the unique take on this bank heist and the kind of not typical just, smash and grab kind of thing. There was a lot more of a plan to it, and it's kind of interesting to kind of piece it, like, together as you go through the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is probably the first time I've seen it in years. And I really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it seemed better this time than it was the first time I watched it.
I feel like, the last time I remember watching it, I probably was like around when it came out in theaters, and I'm guessing we were still high school then. So I'm guessing just like I've noticed.
I think it was like 2006 or 2007 or something came out.
Even potentially.
Yeah.
2006 is when Inside Man.
Yeah.
We're still talking about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm feeling like we saw it then, but we didn't maybe catch all the elements. Does that make sense? Like we got the basic premise, but now that we're older and rewatch it, you pick up on a few more of the like more intelligent things. You're like, oh, that connects there. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's I don't remember like I know it now because I've seen it, but I didn't remember like what the whole heist was about.
Yeah, that's the part.
And when I went back and watched it, I was like, you know what, that was very well done.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the part I remember too. Is it just being really well done? I can't remember at all. Like that's why I was like, it's a bank heist, right? When we first started talking about it, because I'm like,
yeah.
I just remember it being a cool like heist movie.
Yeah, because it's
being
perfect.
like a little bit of a twist.
It's like perfectly
in there
planned.
Yeah.
And, yep.
Yeah, and so that's why. But I can't remember the details, which I like. I like a movie where I'm like, I really can't remember the details. I have to go back and watch this again to rediscover that the premise and the mystery that they put how the heist came together and that stuff. So I'm probably going to have to watch that movie now.
So, other than that, because you're going to go watch it,
yeah,
I will make you. When I come to Ottawa this weekend, I will track you down. I will tie you to a chair, Slapsgiving style, and I will leave you in front of the TV watching that or the Star Choice.
Yeah, the opening first, like the channel that comes on when you turn on your cable box. It's not New York one.
Welcome.
Well, I don't have a cable box.
Much like
Family Guy,
Quagmire and Cleveland, you will be able to do the entire thing.
The entire thing.
Together with the introductory.
Did I tell you I'm getting my own show?
Yeah, and that's how the episode ends. That's how Scott's episode ends.
That's how hopefully not his life, just his episode.
Well,
but what else I watched? I watched both Jumanji movies.
Oh,
bought a box.
That's hilarious.
Combination box set at Walmart for dirt cheap.
So you watch them together. Which one's better?
Two different types of movies.
Very
I gotta
nice.
say they're on par with each other.
That is fair.
I just
the
got
intensity. Like I love the first one.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Scott?
Oh, I was just gonna say I just got the new one from the library. I haven't got to watching it yet. I just thought it was crazy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
The first one was more serious. It was like a more intense like thriller movie.
Yes, I was actually afraid of the first one when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, you're not the first person who's told me that. I don't remember it being scary, but it makes sense when you're a kid, right? Because it's animals. Like it's something that exists in our world.
It was
kid
more
getting
the
trapped.
disappearing into a game bit.
Yeah,
that's true.
That was scary to me.
That's true.
I
don't want to play Baccarat. I don't want to get stuck at cards.
Stop with Monopoly. I'm not going to jail.
I don't want to drive the race car. But the first one's like that, and then the second one, it's more of an upbeat. Like, sure, there's a little bit hanging on the line, but it's fun because of everyone. And Karen Gillan is just amazing.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Obviously, The Rock's in it. Jack Black, and it's a little corny going back and watching it. Like, you see spoilers. You see the the kids in the movie, and they all become like their biggest like the opposite of what they are as the game characters by accident. Like you get this super nerdy
plot.
Yeah. Like you get the super nerdy geeky guy who becomes The Rock.
Yeah.
And you get this huge like musclehead football player who becomes Kevin Hart. Yeah. You get this kind of geeky dweeby girl who's just like super self-conscious who becomes Karen Gillan, Stone Cold Fox. It's a fucking smoke show. To quote Meg Bonnie about Bonnie. And then you get like the pretty girl in high school who's just all about her popularity and her appearance, who becomes Jack Black. So it's just the exact opposite of everything they're used to being, and it's nothing. It's really obvious that it's coming.
No, that premise. As soon as I heard that premise when they had the trailer, I'm like, yeah, that seems like how anyone would have done it.
Yep, but they do a good job at like watching the adults actors, like the counterparts, grow. Okay. Like, and they do a really good job at acting like their kid actors do. Yeah. Like almost like they shadowed them for like a day or two just to figure out what they're like, and they're like, no, I got this. And they go on because they got it bang on.
Yeah, like the cadence and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's perfect. And just the way they talk is like, it's just adulty enough that you can get into it, but it's also like you hear like the teenage-ness in it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's pretty well done. It's pretty well done. I'd say they're on par with each other just because they're two totally different types of movie.
Are you gonna watch the next Jumanji in theaters? Because I think they're doing a sequel to this new one.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out next year, I think.
Yes,
I'll probably go see it, to be honest.
Okay.
I probably won't see it twice, but I'll probably go see it.
Hey, well, that's good to hear, since I'm going to be watching it in the next couple days.
Yeah. It depends on like the cast. Like if it's like some ridiculous cast brought together, I probably wouldn't. But if they can bring back the same characters and have it like, oh man, we just found out that someone else is in the game and we have to go back and save them, but they have the same cast, I'd be okay with it.
That'd be a cool premise, yeah.
Like they find out they like left a shoe and someone dropped something in the game. They're like, oh no, we have to go back and get it or else it's going to ruin Jumanji.
That does sound like part of the premise of the next one.
Yeah, like something ridiculous to bring it back.
Yeah, some reason for them to go back into the game. Have all the same characters.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I get that. So
seems like something that Hollywood would do because they never listen to our ideas. They just make sequels of other shit.
Hey, Seth MacFarlane does.
That's true. Thanks, Seth. You stick Joe in a corner and make him think about what he does in a chair. Speaking of Seth MacFarlane, the other thing I watched this week, and it's just a movie I keep going back to because it holds its own, and that's A Million Ways to Die in the West.
It's hilarious.
Because it's one of the most ridiculous.
I love that you two are the diehard defenders of this movie out of everybody on the planet. Because even Seth MacFarlane
makes fun of
jokes about it in Family Guy. That you guys
it's because it's a ridiculous
A Million Ways to Die in the West.
But it's so funny.
The People Against Ted 2. Oh, we need to go. Just get out of here.
I don't even like either of the Ted movies as much as I like A Million Ways to Die in the West.
No, and I think it's because it's a live-action Family Guy movie.
Exactly. Where else can you get Sarah Silverman, who's saving herself for marriage and yet is still a prostitute?
It's so because she's just talks so pure. I want to save ourselves for marriage. Hey, let's fuck. Coming.
The story itself, like the actual plot, sucks.
It's just everything leading up to it.
Compared to the movie itself. Like how they talk about how like no one smiles in pictures. You'd look like a complete maniac if you smiled in pictures.
Yep.
And then just the ways that people die randomly.
Yep.
The guy
like the guy who's got like the black shits or whatever it is?
Yeah, it just dies from emptying his bowels. Yeah.
People die at the fair. People die at the fair.
There's a bull that gets loose and kills people. Yep. Like the movie's just ridiculous. The story sucks. Sorry, Liam Neeson, but that's like
where he gets talked to death.
I don't know why anyone doesn't like it.
No, it's so ridiculous.
When
they give him the Yep.
And then they're just like in their corner.
Yeah.
Nobody
And
to
you
do
say
anything.
away, our fight is way more intense than yours. And then he gets punched. Oh, this is why we have the meetings.
Don't go off script.
But or when they give Neil Patrick Harris the laxatives and he's just shitting himself in front of everybody when they're trying to have a duel.
Yes, he fills up his hat. Or a hat.
Yep, a hat. It's not his hat. It's someone else's hat.
And then the mustache song, which will be stuck in your head forever.
Yep, which is phenomenal. But also the foreplay that happens in bed, where she's like sucking on his French twist mustache, and that's their coitus, is just taking care of his mustache.
Well, obviously, because the mustache is the most important thing in the West.
Absolutely. But I must ask you guys a question.
Ah.
Oh ho! Haha! Oh no! It's funny!
It's funny because it's different voices.
It's funny because there's different voices. Oh no! Oh yeah! That's a real good cutaway. Real good.
It's one of the strongest ones in the new season.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
Just the Kool-Aid man. You see him come through, and the first time I saw it, I was like, "What's he gonna say?" And then just the "Oh no!" What am I doing, a Medea? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna need a chainsaw for this one. Anyways, the last thing I watched this week was Joe Rogan's new comedy special, The Strange Times.
Oh, I haven't got to that one yet.
He's got
It's-
a new one?
Yeah, it came
new
out
one
like 2
that
days
came
ago.
out.
Oh.
It's pretty good. It's
Well,
very
thanks,
Joe Rogan.
Netflix
where-
for sending me a flippin' email.
They didn't send you one. Oh my god!
I
this-
get emails for Chelsea Handler stuff, but I don't get emails for Joe Rogan. Is it
It's,
backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
it's-
not in my life? I watched all of News Radio. Where were you?
Where were you? But it's very Joe Rogan. It's very like real life things that have happened that are just ridiculous. Him talking about doing drugs, but this time he doesn't talk about pot so much. He talks more about like real life modern issues.
Oh.
Like he does mention pot briefly because he has to,
Yeah,
because
like
I'm pretty sure he's sponsored by the weed industry.
I like that in Canada.
But he tackles a lot of like feminism, and he tackles like the Harvey Weinstein thing, and he makes a good point, or at least to me, anyways. This is not the opinion of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast, by the way. Just a little disclaimer. But he does make he talks about how we're like everyone's sexist towards men, and he uses the Harvey Weinstein thing as like an example. He's like, if my daughters ended up having to have sex with Harvey Weinstein just to become, an actress, I'd want to kill him. I want to kick his ass. But if my son had to like go down on Harvina Weinstein to be Batman, I'd be like, come on, son, you're gonna be Batman. And like he just keeps going back to that, like if a dude, has to do something like that, it's not that bad. But if a guy has to do it, or I mean vice versa, if a girl has to do it, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But if a guy does it, it's like, meh, whatever, suck it up, buddy. Quit your crying. Batman doesn't cry.
I can see
Like,
him
the other
saying
thing-
Batman doesn't cry too.
That's one of his
No, I'm
punchlines.
sure. Yeah, no, I can imagine it in my head. I'm like, Batman doesn't cry.
But there's another joke he uses, and he uses that story. I don't know if you guys were familiar about it. I vaguely remembered hearing about it, which was down in Florida, where they were pulling the like the 21 Jump Street type thing, where they were sending police into schools, like as undercover cops to try to like bust drug dealers.
Okay.
And he talks about how she busted this kid who was like a straight A student who just wanted to get high with this girl. She's like a 25-year-old like smoking hot cop
Yeah.
who's pretending to be, a teenager, and she wouldn't just take the weed for free. She kept trying to make him sell it to her so that she could arrest him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a record." And he's like, "A record? Like, you have a story, buddy. Like, you got arrested by a girl you thought was your girlfriend." But then he talks about how, if this is a woman cop who went in, and no one really cared about these guys who she was like soliciting and trying to bust. But if a guy came in, into a school and started throwing dick at all the girls, we would burn that motherfucker in the street. And I was like, yeah, that's entirely true. You are 100% right. Dudes suck.
No, that sounds very Joe Rogan-like. I'm definitely
Yeah,
going to be
but
checking
it was-
that out soon.
Yeah, it was a pretty good special.
No, I like most of his specialties. I I listen to his podcast every day, so I'm obviously one of his fans. So yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, I just haven't got to checking it out yet, but I'll probably get to it tomorrow or this weekend sometime. But that's the
I
end.
definitely recommend it.
Is that the end
That's
of
the
your
end of my
list?
list.
Okay, Craig, what did you watch this week? Because my list is short.
So I also watched some Big Mouth.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we did not discuss this, Scott.
No, we did not.
We did not.
I don't believe you guys, but go on.
We didn't. I watched some more Letterkenny this week, which I will continue to recommend, even though neither one of you will watch that.
I will not. This isn't like New Girl. I will not watch
There's
Letterkenny.
too many
say that.
sitcoms, and I don't start
say
any of
that.
them new ones, to be honest.
I really like Letterkenny, and it's just as good the second or third time through, which is really like amateur hour compared to a lot of the super fans of Letterkenny who that's all they watch. But hey,
Yeah.
to each their own.
Yep.
I rewatched a handful of stand-up specials. Bert Kreischer's Secret Time, obviously.
Nice.
Again,
'Cause
still
it
stands up.
It still stands
For
up.
3 weeks.
Still shirtless and whatnot. Because it's never a bad time to listen to a story about pajamas. I watched Tom Segura's Completely Normal because I really wanted to hear the really bad doctor joke again. Because that guy's
What, are you
hilarious.
fucking crazy? This guy's hilarious. I got Don Rickles as my primary care physician.
Oh my god, his muscle enzymes are so high. He must run marathons.
Look at him.
him. And I watched Jimmy Carr's Netflix special as well. Because I haven't watched that in a while. And I still enjoy his stand-up, but I don't know if I liked it as much the third time. I think that's the third time I watched
See,
it now.
I can't watch a special with him. I've tried. I did not really like it. I liked him on like Just for Laughs, where it's just a hot 15 or
Yeah.
a hot 5 or whatever.
Yeah. His the thing with his stand-up is it's like combining a bunch of those together, except that one of them ends up being weak. Because it's like he doesn't do a long...
He doesn't do
long-term
stories.
idea.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just little bits and bits and bits and bits and bits. And he likes to emphasize heckling, which I'm not really a huge fan of, much
No.
like Crystalia. I'm not a huge fan of the heckles. So I don't
No.
I don't mind crowd work when someone will talk to the people in the crowd, but I don't like responding to people just yelling. It just
Yeah.
sounds dumb. But the last
Yeah.
thing on my list, before we get into a debate about heckling,
Well, it wasn't a heckling. I was just going to agree with you and say I just like stories. Comedian. Mostly stories.
the last thing on my list was BoJack Horseman, season 5.
The newest season.
What did you think of it? What did you think of it?
I haven't finished it yet.
Okay,
but,
how far are you?
The last episode that I watched was the one where where Hollyhock throws his oxy down
Oh,
the
and
drain,
he's saying he needs it.
says he needs it even though he doesn't, and then the episode ends where he is driving his car into the intersection against the red light, which I saw coming as he's sitting there, realizing that he's out of it and he's addicted. And the only way that he's going to be able to get it is if it's by prescription, which is right along the lines of this show.
It's this season. I felt like it tackled a lot more like real life shit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Like as opposed to just being like super goofy. Like this one was more like realistic.
exactly, which makes it easier to watch and harder to watch at the same time, because it's difficult to watch what should be a comedy be a drama, but at the same time there's comedic elements to it too. And they've got a lot of character development too, I've noticed, because Mr. Peanut Butter
Yeah.
in particular is starting to realize what
That he's getting old?
What he is, yeah, exactly. And I liked the episode that they did where it's just all long eulogy of BoJack's mother. I started watching it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then I got 15 minutes in and I was like, oh, they're going to do this the whole time, are they? And then it was 25 and I was like, yep, this is the episode. It's interesting. It's kind of like the episode of Family Guy with Stewie and the therapist.
Oh, that was a fucking good episode.
Like, except with no cutaways, which doesn't help. Because the episode with BoJack was pretty much just all like one. It must have been the easiest episode in the world to animate because it's him standing. Yeah,
just walking back and
standing
forth
in front
at
of
a podium.
and every once in a while you got to take a shot with a casket in it and then go back. Like it would have been super easy to animate.
And then have him yelling into a corner where there's a guy apparently with a drum set.
Yeah, the organ guy. And then it turns out he's at the wrong funeral.
Yep.
Which it never occurs to him because it's a room full of frogs that he might be at the wrong funeral. But hey.
Hey, don't talk about the French that way, man.
Way to put words in my mouth. But that's my list. Scott, what'd you watch this week?
All right. Well, my list is pretty short as well. I finished watching the second season of The Good Place. It snuck up on me.
What'd you think?
Well, the ending stuck up on me. I'm like, oh, wait, that's okay. I guess that makes sense for a season finale.
It really sets up a weird, probable final season.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But I enjoyed it. It was good. It was once you got past them, doing the first. Once you get past the first 2 or 3 episodes where they were just being tortured, and you get into
800 and something resets.
Yeah, like once you get past that, I enjoyed it a lot more. Like especially when you see it's Michael, right?
Yeah,
that's Ted Danson's character.
Ted Danson.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you see his character trying to actually start to develop a little bit, but you see him have a couple steps back along the way, and I really enjoyed that. And I like the way they kind of worked around, the whole fact that they're in the bad place and they're trying to get to the good place. And I like it. It's good. I'm excited to check out the 3rd season when it comes to Netflix, but it's not one of those shows I have to go I need to go check out the 3rd season right now. I'm like, I can wait till it comes out on Netflix when it does. Yeah, but still
in
good.
like a year.
Yeah, exactly. But I still enjoyed it. I also watched Ocean's 8 because I was at the library, and I was like, oh, nice. So I rewatched that. Still enjoyed it. I would probably put it amongst, for me, it's just another Ocean's movie. You know what I mean? It's the 4th one. It's
it grew on me a little more seeing it, in my home.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking too. Being able to kind of sit and relax with it. I'm like, oh no, this is still has that same kind of fun vibe of the last one. It's not a movie you have to 100% pay attention to, but at the same time, if you are, you're getting a little bit more from it and you get to enjoy it. And I like the fashion in it. The fashion was really cool.
Yeah, well, we all know that you crush hard on
Kate Blanchett.
On what's her face, Kate Blanchett. Yeah,
I like her crazy style, and she was in a Marvel movie, so just wins my heart.
Yeah. And I love Sandra Bullock.
Yep.
And it helps when Helena Bonham Carter has that Irish accent. So
I really enjoy her actually in this one. Out of all her roles, she's been in a bunch.
She doesn't do a whole hell of a lot, but I stand by it.
Yeah, well, and I like that she just suits the role she does play. Right, I could see her being this, eccentric. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, eccentric. Yeah.
Eccentric, fashion designer and being a little kooky because she's a little kooky and she's always a little kooky. But I think it just really suited this role in particular. They really wrote. I don't know if they really they wrote this part for her specifically, or if she was able to adapt it, or if it was just a perfect fit. I don't know, but it just seemed like it was a good match between those two. And the whole cast in general, I like that they all have very unique personalities, just like the original Ocean's one. And yeah, I liked it. It's a good rewatch.
What else is on your list?
The last couple things I have is I started rewatching Gotham season 4 because I just got added to Netflix. That's the last season that was just on TV. This is definitely one of those shows that's better week to week as opposed to binging it, just because a lot of the episodes kind of can be a little repetitive
tedious.
A bit. Yeah, and tedious, definitely. So I'm taking it a little slowly, but I like it for it just being a superhero show.
It is.
Exactly. I'll never defend it as a great show, but
good.
It gives me what it can. No.
You'd be wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not a good show. I just enjoy it for what it is, which is just gets brand I don't know that like this is gonna sound a little weird, but like it's almost like somebody told like a fan of Batman told somebody else about Batman, and then that person wrote it, and so it's a little one-off.
It's kind of like a weird side version of Smallville, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Where like before he even became the hero, he's defeated all the villains.
Yeah, which that part I don't love about it, and like
that's my big issue with it.
Yeah.
Like, and we've talked about it before. Like
yeah.
how my take on the Batman villains is they all exist because
Because of
Batman
Batman,
exists, not
vice
they
versa,
existed and then a fucking dickhead teenager decide, oh, I could do this.
I could stop these criminals.
I can kill Ra's al Ghul even though I'm a kid.
And then
Get
be
the fuck
upset
out of
about
here.
it. Like, wait, what?
Yeah. Like what?
What did you think was gonna happen when you stabbed somebody? Like,
Yeah.
your plan was to kill him, and then you killed him, and you're upset that he was dead. What part of this plan were you missing when you got into this? Like, come on, kid. Come on, Bruce. But I really like Alfred in this, and the guy who plays Jim Gordon's okay. He's not. It's weird because to me he's not exactly Jim Gordon. He's almost like Jim Gordon's cousin in a way, but
he's like James Gordon.
yeah, exactly.
It'll probably be like in Smallville when you find out that Jimmy Olsen is actually like his brother or his cousin or something. He just goes by Jimmy, but his real name isn't Jimmy.
Yeah, just because
it's like an homage.
Jimmy, yeah.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to that, but yeah, so I just started rewatching that, and then the only other thing I watched was a bunch of trailers this week. They released a Dark Phoenix one, a Bumblebee one, and one for a new show called The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see the new Into the Spider-Verse trailer?
Oh, that was the one I missed. Yeah, I did see that one as well. That was actually the best of the trailers.
That one looks pretty good.
That one looks really good.
I think it's going to be really weird. Like, I'm not a fan of the animation style.
Oh, really? I like that.
But the story looks pretty good.
The story looks great. Like, I love that they're just going all out with the Spider-Verse thing. Like, we saw, no spoilers for people who haven't watched this one, but we see, it's Spider-Ham, right? That's the
Spider-Ham is voiced by John Mulaney.
I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool.
Yep.
Actually, that's
awesome.
the only thing I know about this movie. Yeah.
Is it?
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, him and the guy who plays Nick on New Girl plays Peter Parker.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And that is all I know.
Well, I know a little noir Spider-Man's played by Nick Cage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is doing that one. That was one of that, and like, because that was around the time when he also was doing the Teen Titans one that they like announced about that. But yeah, that one definitely did look good. I'm excited to check that out. And I'm not usually the biggest like I like I don't like most of the Marvel animated ones. That's what I'm trying to say. DC animated ones,
yeah,
great. Don't watch any
DC,
of the Marvel ones.
They kill it.
Yeah,
they kill it because it's dark. It's believable. Marvel, it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Marvel, it's way too way too children like friendly. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm like, oh well, no, I can't do this. This is just
well, in DC, especially as of late,
yeah.
You know, they're like their New 52 continuity animated stuff. You know, they'll blow up a building, and like you get the feeling that they're concerned about the collateral damage.
Yeah, they've put a little.
Whereas
more
in Marvel, they're kind of like, well, let's just
Marvel blow
do
up
what
anything,
we got to
yeah.
do. Most of these issues are our fault, but whatever.
Yeah, but
let's just blame Hank Pym because he fucks everything up. Always.
Yeah. But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse looks good. I'm surprised they're doing such a push with an animated one, but I'm definitely intrigued to go check it out in December.
Christmas.
Yeah. But that's all I watched this week.
That's all we watched this week.
Look at that.
What did we watch this week? We watched all of that.
We all watched all what we just talked about. And other things that we might have
missed it,
about.
go back, start at the beginning, listen to it again.
Well, it seems like season 2, maybe we'll have to start off with WWWTY.
What we watched this year?
What we watched this year.
That is
a lot of
things. I can't even remember
things.
what I watched this week, much less what I watched this year.
Special 7.5-hour episode,
Stay
guys.
tuned, guys. Only the brave will make it through.
I can't do that.
We're coming for you.
No.
Dan Carlin and your history podcasts that are 4 hours long.
Yep.
We're coming for you.
Well, I guess we should just say goodbye. Thank you guys for joining us for our 50. 52nd episode.
Yeah.
And we love you.
Join us for a whole year. Thank you guys. For those of you who have stuck around to the end of every
And all you
episode.
new people who missed the beginning, go back and listen to them in anticipation for season 2, which is going to be so much better.
We hope.
And to quote all of the Boyle family, I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.